Hello mathematicians, hope in this video you can say I can solve systems of equations by substitution. In this video we're going to look at 3 different examples. Each one will be a little bit different than the previous one. So we're given the system of equations of y equals 2x and y equals 10x minus 16. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this equation here, which is equal to y, and we're going to substitute it in for y up in this equation. Okay, so we're going to take 10x minus 16 and substitute it in for y up here, which would give us the equation 10x minus 16 equals 2x. And from here now we've just got an equation that we need to solve, okay? So what we can do is let's get rid of our variables over here, so we could subtract 10x. Those cancel each other out and subtract 10x. So we get negative 16 is equal to negative 8x. And divide by negative 8, and divide by negative 8, which would give us the answer of 2 is equal to x, or x is equal to 2. We can actually take this now and substitute it back into this equation right here to solve for y. So we're going to substitute 2 in for x. So we get y is equal to 2 times 2. So we get y is equal to 4. So this system of equations has a solution of 2, 4, 2 being the x value and 4 being the y value. Let's look at another example here. So we're given the system of equations of negative 8x plus y equals negative 32 and negative 3x minus 10 equals y. So this is similar to the previous problem. So now what we're going to do is we're going to substitute negative 3x minus 10 in for y up here in this equation. Okay, so that would give us the equation of negative 8x minus 3x minus 10 is equal to negative 32, is equal to negative 32. So we substituted negative 3x minus 10 in for y and kept the rest of the equation the same. So now we can just combine like terms. So we get negative 11x minus 10 equals negative 32, and we'd add 10 and add 10. We get negative 11x equals negative 22, and we divide by negative 11 and divide by negative 11, and we get x is equal to 2. And now with this we can take this value for x that we solved and we can substitute it back into either of these two equations. Let's just substitute it in to this equation right there. So we get negative 3 times 2 minus 10 equals y, and negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 minus 10 equals y, which is negative 16 equals y. So we get a solution to this system equation that has an x value of 2 and a y value of negative 16. So 2, negative 16 is a solution to this system of equations. Let's look at one more example. So we're given the system of equations of x plus 3y equals 1 and negative 9x minus 10y equals negative 43. This one's a little bit more complicated. There are a few ways we can go about this. What we're going to do is we're going to manipulate. I'm going to manipulate this equation up top, this x plus 3y equals 1. I'm going to manipulate that so that it is solved for the variable x. I'm going to give myself a little bit more space to do this problem. So in order to solve for x, all that we need to do is we need to subtract 3y from both sides and subtract 3y, which would give us x equals negative 3y plus 1. And now we're going to substitute this back in for x into this equation right here. And it is important that when you're substituting back in, you do not substitute it back into the original equation. That will not work very well, okay? You will just get an answer of infinite solution. You'll just get some constant equal to other constant. So it's important that you substitute it back into the other equation, okay? So that would give us negative 9, and now we're substituting negative 3y plus 1 in for x. So we go negative 3y plus 1 minus 10y equals negative 43. And now we just distribute this over here. So we get 27y minus 9 minus 10y equals negative 43. That would give us 17y minus 9 equals negative 43. Now it's just a two-step equation, so I'd add 9 and add 9. We get 17y equals negative 34. Divide by 17 and divide by 17. We get y is equal to negative 2. And now we take this value for y and let's substitute it back into this equation right there to solve for x. You can substitute it back into either of these equations, but I think this one might be the easiest. So that would give us x is equal to negative 3, and then I'm going to substitute negative 2 in for y. So negative 3 times negative 2 plus 1. So we get x is equal to 6 plus 1. You get x is equal to 7. So this system of equations would have a solution of 7, negative 2. So that's it for video on solving systems of equations by substitution. I hope after watching this video and getting in a little bit of practice, you can say, I can solve systems of equations by substitution.